For the first time in 24 days, the Kentucky Wildcats take the floor at home. Cats and Vanderbilt tonight in SEC action. Different feeling in a mostly empty Rump Arena, but still the pride of the Commonwealth. The Kentucky Wildcats trying to stay undefeated in conference play at 2-0 if they can get this one against a Vandy team looking to bounce back. Tom Hart alongside John Sunvold. Sonny, the story of the game last time out for Kentucky is simple. It was a fan favorite. Dante Allen taking advantage of playing time.
Yeah, Dante's inferno at Mississippi State. When he came in the ball game, any shooter rolling out want to go 7 or 11, and he was 7 for 11 from three-point line, and he flat out knocked it in and brought this Cat team on a comeback that it didn't look probable. And when this one banked in from the top, yeah, that was his reaction. He knew the night was his, and they wanted double overtime.
He will start this game on the bench. He's been getting plenty of run in practice lately. There's a look at some of the starters. 23 points Saturday against Mississippi State. At 7 the previous 4 games. Vandy coming off of a loss against Florida by 19 points on Wednesday night. They rolled out their 5th different starting lineup, and that one they'll be different again tonight with Pippen, Evans, Harvey, Disu, and Stute on the floor to start the game. Kentucky wins a tip. Devin Askew will bring it across midcourt.
Commodores man-to-man defensively. Good matchup. Mintz being guarded by Pippen Jr.
Here's B.J. Boston trying to reverse.
Well, he's really struggled offensively.
Scottie Pippen Jr. will have the ball in his hands a lot tonight for Vandy. One of the highest usages in all of college basketball. Disu fading away off the mark. And then a strip by Boston. It'll stay with Vandy. Let's take a look at the starters for Vanderbilt, coached by Jerry Stackhouse. Are brought to you by Farm Rich. And Scottie Pippen is the key. 4th in the country in percentage of possessions that end with him.
Vandy likes to push it. They like to take a lot of three-point shots. And Coach Cal said today at practice, if they make 15 out of 30, we're in trouble.
Yep. Here's a look at Kentucky's starting 5, brought to you by Farm Rich. Did you think after last game that there was a chance Dante Allen would crack the starting rotation?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, you never know if it's a one-time thing. Coaches see a player every day in practice, so I wasn't sure they would change his starting lineup, and they didn't. I'm sure he's going to get a good look early. You know, it really might depend how Kentucky starts offensively. This is a team that has simply struggled scoring the basketball. Outside of Allen's performance, they haven't been above 65 points after the first game. And at the end of regulation, even though he made a bunch of shots, it was 61-61 at Mississippi State. So it's a team that's looking for something on the offensive end to get them going.
Olivier Sarr at the free throw line. That was a key foul already picked up by Scottie Pippen Jr. less than a minute into this game.
The matchup will be the freshman Devin Askew on Scottie Pippen Jr. Scottie's good off the dribble. Can shoot it outside, can take it to the rim.
3 ball off the mark. Tracked down by Davion Mintz in the corner for Kentucky. That was Stute, who's shooting 57% from deep. Here's B.J. Boston. 0 for 2 to start this game.
Vanderbilt likes to pace up and down, and Kentucky will have a chance to push the ball up the floor. When the Florida Gators beat Vandy in the home opener for the SEC, Florida pushed it and got some easy layups.
There's Sarr on the glass. John Calipari wanted to motivate Olivier Sarr, pump up his confidence, and get him to be effective against Mississippi State. It seemed to work as DJ Harvey picks up his first foul. There's a look at Jerry Stackhouse. Played against Kentucky once as an All-American at North Carolina, and the 3rd overall pick in the '95 draft going to the Sixers. 2nd season as a head man on Nashville's West End. Motivation has been a key for him and his Vanderbilt team over the last week. He said, guys not making smart basketball decisions, and they need to pick up the effort on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I thought he was good today when he talked to us, Tom, and he said he's got to have his veteran players that have been with him over a year now to pick up their games and to take care of the new faces and he's got plenty of them, especially he's got 2 starting in the lineup tonight.
They only played 6 non-conference games. Obviously, everybody's schedule limited and disrupted. That was the fewest since the early 50s. Hall of Famer John Calipari on the bench for the Kentucky Wildcats. Third fastest to reach 700 wins in college basketball history, behind only Rupp and Roy. That is elite company as he bangs home the first free throw.
Elite company. I think it's been probably a frustrating start of a year for him. Team picked top 10 preseason polls, many of them. He's got a lot of things he's working on, trying to find and push the right buttons, talk to the right people, get confidence to the right guys. Last week, he said he worked a lot with Sarr to get him confident before they went to Mississippi State. Sarr responded and had a solid effort. Now he's got to get B.J. Boston out of his funk and try to get him good on the offensive end.
Yes, Sarr had a double-double, 14 and 12. He had B.J. over to the house last night, spent some time with the family, give him some confidence, build him up, let him know exactly what he thinks he's capable of. Here's Sarr inside.
Yeah, 1-3-1 zone. You'll expect anytime they go to a zone, Vanderbilt, Sarr's going to step in the middle because he's a tough matchup. He's great at 15 feet and in, and at 7 feet simply goes over the top.
Third team All-ACC performer at Wake Forest for Danny Manning last year. That's the second on Devin Askew, the freshman guard.
Let's take a look at Olivier Sarr step right in the middle of that zone, and he can shoot the jump shot when he catches or when he puts it on the floor. He's got a size advantage, a length advantage, and it looks as though after that Bulldog game in Starkville that he's got his confidence back.
He had a couple of a key 3 late. He ended up knocking down both 3-point attempts that he had. Dante Allen now on the floor for the first time, coming 3 minutes into this game. They want Dante Allen to do the little things right. There are non-negotiables. Defense, getting the plays right, having the details down. But make no mistake about it, if he wants to stay on the floor, he's got to hit shots.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And because of his second half. Now, he played the first half at Mississippi State and passed up a couple shots. Wasn't ready to shoot it. He'll be ready to shoot tonight. His teammates know what he has. He's now on the scouting report for every opponent when he walks in the game. So he'll be guarded a little bit differently than the Bulldogs handled him down in Starkville. But he is a catch and release player. And when you get on a roll, when you're that kind of a guy, it helps offensively your teammates.
Isaiah Jackson, one of the best shot blockers in college basketball, enters for Lance Ware.
This Kentucky team had 10 blocks against Mississippi State. They are long inside, they're active, and you said as Jackson comes in, he had 8 blocks against Kansas, 4 blocks against the Bulldogs.
Here's Pippen, drawing a lot of eyeballs and is knocked away by Boston, but they couldn't gain control. Vandy will have 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Time of luxury when you've got a center like Sarr at 7 feet that is active with his feet and lanky, so that when Pippen Jr. comes off, he's not been able to see the basket, and Sarr's been able to slide with him. He hasn't been able to penetrate through that defense.
Pippen second in the league, nearly 23 points a game. Hounded by Mintz. Sarr with the help again. Shot clock at 3. Pippen almost lost control. Fires long, and then a foul on the rebound, and that will be DJ Harvey, the Notre Dame transfer, charged with his second already.
This is a good defensive team that Kentucky has. They're long enough at the guard position. They might not be, and they might not have the quickness at the guard spot that you'd like offensively, the blow by guys off the dribble. But defensively, they get up into people. They challenge shots. Now if they can convert it on the other end.
Ejike Obina enters the game for Vandy, matched up with Sarr. 7 foot versus 6'10". Here's Boston with a touch. Sarr, nice look. And Isaiah Jackson inside.
Mistake by Dessou defensively. Took his eye off his player, and you can't allow Jackson to catch it underneath the rim.
This is a really good lineup for Kentucky on the floor right now, if Allen can do what he does on the offensive end.
Yeah, no doubt. And with Mintz running the show, he was used to that at Creighton. Seems more comfortable in that position.
Pippen with the turnover. We got a timeout on the floor. John Calipari's squad with an early 6-4 lead. Neither team shooting the ball relatively well early. They've gone a combined 3 for 11. Dante Allen on the floor for Kentucky. More on that in a minute. Or lead over Vanderbilt. Up with all of our friends up in the upper deck. Tom Hart alongside John Sumvold. The lighting is perfect here. It's what we both deserve. The spotlight is now on Dante Allen for good reason. And Sonny, it's not just that he had a great game. He's also a Kentucky kid. He's from Pendleton County. He's one of their own, and that makes a difference in this fan base's eyes.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Everybody knows him. He's one of theirs. He's one of ours, as they would say. And because they started so poorly, this Kentucky Wildcat team, all they wanted to see was when will Allen play?
Yeah.
When is he going to get minutes? Finally, he got minutes. And I'm not sure you could have a better performance, or that I've seen a better performance for someone that's thrown in and everybody, all the eyes were on him from Kentucky, right? Mississippi State didn't really worry about him. They didn't think much about him. Wasn't on the scouting report quite like he will be now. But he responded in a way that not only ignited this team, it was a way that they got it to regulation. You get it through overtime. You win in double overtime. And his teammates mobbed it in the locker room.
Here's Allen drawing a lot of attention, just like Pippen will on the other side. And it frees up Davion Mintz to score. What difference does a long-range shooter have in half court?
Well, you just saw it, right? He came off a screen. He's on the bounce. Two guys chase him. Ball movement's quick. Lane's wide open. Mintz goes right down the middle. He can stretch a floor differently than they had before.
Pippen has yet to get going for Vandy.
And Disu at 6'9" is a three-point shooter. He likes to shoot it deep.
Vandy as a team likes to shoot it deep. They always have, right? Studi, the freshman at Gonzaga Prep in D.C. That's different from Gonzaga, the way they pronounce it, depending on your coast. And we got to push inside, and Obina will pick up the foul.
And Studi, a good-looking freshman. He hit 3 threes against Florida in that first matchup against the Gators in the SEC.
Did you know they're pronounced differently? I was working with the great P.J. Carlesimo a couple of years ago out in Spokane covering Gonzaga.
Yeah, the Zags.
And he said they're so mad at me. He goes, I'm from the East Coast. I know it as Gonzaga.
Yeah, that's right.
Here, of course, it's Gonzaga.
I did Gonzaga many, many years ago on TV, and the first thing they said was, we're the Zags. It's Zaga.
Everybody,
gotcha.
Everybody will get it right. They're on their way to perhaps an undefeated season. #1 team in the country. That's Olivier Sarr now with a half dozen. Can shoot it, can drive it, but Jackson can block it if he can just stay out of foul trouble. And it looked like he picked one up there. Isaiah Jackson is leading the league in blocks. He blocks 13% of the two-point shots that occur when he's on the floor, but he's also committing nearly 6 fouls per 40 minutes played.
And that foul happened after he'd already made the block.
Yeah.
It's a loose ball, and he pushes from behind. And Tom, you've seen it. Guys who get in foul trouble, it's pretty common they pick up odd fouls. Fouls off the ball, fouls away.
Trey Thomas now on the floor for Vandy. Looking to penetrate. Shot clock at 3. He'll hoist a 3. And it's ripped down by Jackson, who won the dunk contest for the preseason episode of the Kentucky Wildcats. That's when everybody was still in a good mood. Here's Allen. It wasn't quite Big Blue Madness. It was a version of it. Sarr in and out. Mintz finds the long-range rebound. And he pumps it in from deep. Kentucky's opened up a 6-point lead.
You know, interesting. I said Cal wants them to run. They may not be a great running team, right? We're watching them early to see if they can take a long rebound and go quickly down the court. Maybe that's not any of their strengths.
Yep.
They play at a pace they play at.
Quentin Malora-Brown on the floor now. Kentucky will counter with Ware. Vanderbilt 10th in the league in scoring at 73 points a game. Kentucky dead last at 66.5. And for Vandy tonight, Pippen's only gotten 1 shot off. Here's Allen, guarded by Pippen. Mintz. Chance for Pippen to run. Beautiful reverse with the left.
Smart play. Had a guy trailing. Defender probably had a shot block. Took it underneath with the left hand.
Allen anxious to get one off. He drains a mid-range jumper. He was a sensational scorer at Pendleton County High School. 3,255 points, 11 most in Kentucky prep history. People saw him shoot the other night, Sonny, but there's, in addition to just his shooting, he can score.
Well, he's got a great feel of, like most scorers do, and great shooters do, of when and when not to. When to ball fake. Let's go back. Take a look at this finish. For a swipe there, and you've got the best shot blocker trailing up and under that rim. And back to Allen. He's got the ability, because he shoots it so well, to use the jump shot and the ball fake in a way that can free him up or free teammates up.
Valor Brown outside. Rebounded by Jacob Toppin. Ware getting deep. Oh, spun right into the Vanderbilt player. I think that was Thomas, who went down hard and hit his head on the hardwood.
Yeah, Thomas, the smallest guy on the floor. And Lance Ware, one of the most physical players on the floor.
Ware 6'9", 223. Thomas 5'11", 165. We'll keep it in the family when we return. No Michael J. Fox, but family ties discussions right after this timeout. Well, there's a lot of talent on the family tree, of course, of the Pippen family. Scottie Pippen Jr., McDonald's All-America coming out of Sierra Canyon High School in the Los Angeles area. B.J. Boston played his high school ball there. So did Zaire Williams, including Bronny James. And it all starts with Dad. Not only a 6-time NBA champ, 7-time All-Star, 10-time All-Defensive Team, but Scottie Pippen is a 2-time inductee into the Naismith Hall of Fame. He got in as a player, of course, and they inducted the entire original Dream Team.
One of the all-time best. And I would say just in the year that we've watched his son play, and a year and a half now, the growth that his son has had, it's impressive to watch.
If he has the same kind of growth spurt that his dad did.
Wow.
Junior only 6'2" right now. As Allen misses his first three, but his dad didn't sprout to 6'7" until he was in college.
And what that allowed his dad to do, he started as a guard, obviously. Could handle the basketball at the highest level. One of the greatest ever. Could defend at any level. Good pass.
Valor Brown converts inside. Sarr. Impressive athleticism. The 7-footer's got 8 early.
An impressive soft touch. And we've already mentioned maybe his confidence that was down for a couple ball games is back after the good game against Mississippi State. He's starting well this first half.
Kentucky practiced yesterday. They ran a play where Sarr got a touch on the block and kicked it back out. And John Calipari stopped practice and said, when you get the ball there, I want you shooting it. You're on the floor to score.
Was that your impression right
now? No. That was I just wanted to get across the urgency in his voice. But
all right, I was just checking.
I don't do an impression.
Well, when you're last in the league in scoring and last in field goal percentage, and you've got a big guy that's got the hands and the soft touch as Olivier Sarr, you want him taking more shots.
Mintz picked up his second. Big time 3 from Studi. It's his second triple. The offensive numbers have been abysmal for the Cats this season. Kentucky fans well aware of the shortcomings. Sarr lost it. Saved by Pippen. He wants it back. Where is Scottie Pippen at his best?
Well, when the game's open floor, right here. So he's got, and the thing is, what he's drawing double team, triple teams every time down the floor. So teammates are going to have to respond. Now Studi has hit 3 threes in this first half.
That one took a victory lap. We're tied at 17.
The ice thing, what's interesting is if they score like Pippen Jr., who averages nearly 23 a game, will he get frustrated because he can't get shots? Or will he just keep making the passes to open guys?
Allen into the paint, little finger roll, nice length. He's a great shooter, and he's 6'6".
Changes the game a little bit when you're saying the scouting report said, okay, get jersey to jersey, make it put it on the floor. Well, as you said, Tommy 6'6", finished at the rim.
Grew up a Kentucky fan. Here he is, Pippen out on the sticker. Interesting matchup to have Allen on Pippen. Turn the corner. Got hit on the elbow and dropped it anyway.
Pippen Jr. is very good at playing at his pace. And what do I mean by that? Never seems to be in a hurry or to be rushed. Takes his time, a little crossover step. And it's not a forced shot. Everything's under control when he takes that last step. And because he's 6'2", 6'3", the separation is get that step away from the defender. Soft touch. He's an 84% free throw shooter.
That's 4th best in the league. Preseason 2nd team all-conference. Vandy finds a loose ball, tracked down by Trey Thomas. Pippen probes. Again with the left to avoid Isaiah Jackson's block.
That is a tough shot. Again, he takes his body into the defender and gets him to the right side of that rim so that he can use the left on the left side of the rim.
Vandy has played a lot of guys this year. They've had a number of COVID interruptions and player misses as Allen couldn't knock it down, and a foul will go on Vandy. If that's on Stewart, or pardon me, Harvey, that's his 3rd.
Take a look at this shot. This drive. Now he's got the big on him, so he's going to take his body into the big, go back to the other side and finish. Now we're talking about Pippen Jr. on the offensive end, but he's in charge defensively of guarding Dante Allen since he's been in. Now he'll have a break.
The foul was on Jordan Wright. I mentioned that Vandy will go plenty deep. They had a 16-day pause due to a COVID outbreak and canceled 4 games back in the early part of the season. And the one silver lining for Jerry Stackhouse with some of the interruptions is he's already played a lot of guys. He's got a handful unavailable tonight. Isaac McBride is out. Cleavon Brown is still out. Brayley Albert had an ankle injury. He's only available in an emergency situation. Dessou hits his first 3. And Vandy's opened up a 5-point advantage.
They'll try to space you out, move the basketball. They've got great outside shooters. Dessou over 30% beyond the 3. We've said he's 6'9". He can go inside, but he loves to step back, face up. And if they can spread you out and make a big come chase, that also opens up for chances of offensive rebounds.
Vandy scored 13 of the last 15 in this one. First to 2 tonight, and coming up next, we'll get you to a ranked SEC squad, number 13 Missouri in Stark Vegas, to take on Ben Hallen's Mississippi State team, which faltered late, blew that 9-point lead against Kentucky over the weekend.
A big win for Missouri when they went on the road to Arkansas after losing. Tom, we had Missouri and Tennessee in Columbia last week, and Tennessee looked like a world beater, and Missouri looked like they couldn't play, and then all of a sudden they traveled to Arkansas and knock off then undefeated Razorbacks.
I think momentum's going to be a fickle thing in the league this year. It will go whenever you least expect it. Look at what Tennessee did.
Yep.
Right? Tennessee's picked to win the league. Highest ranked team in the league. They've got Arkansas at home tomorrow night.
And they went home, and Alabama went in and drilled them.
Yep.
John Petty Jr. was outstanding. Again, another guy that when he gets hot, he knocked in 7 threes in that game. And as you said, Tom, I think we're going to see a lot of ebbs and flows when we get an SEC play, which we are now.
Devin Askew with the runner. Here's Disu again. Big guy hit one earlier, then a reach-in foul on Jordan Wright will be his second. Foul trouble starting to pile up for Jerry Sackhouse's team. But his Commodores have a 3-point lead on the road here in Rupp, in a series of which the Cats have won 8 straight.
First guy.
All right, Dari, thanks. Keep an eye on Colin Castleton, the Michigan transfer. 20 in each of his first 2 SEC games for Florida. The only Florida player over the last 25 seasons, Sonny, that scored 20 in each of his first 2 career SEC games.
Impressive numbers, and always great that Keontae Johnson is back on the bench, coaching a little bit. Good to see that he's making a comeback a little bit.
Devin Askew has a couple of personal fouls. Talking with John Calipari right now. Here's Olivier Sarr, senior from Bordeaux, France. Knocks down the first, got another one coming. Fan of the woodwinds. Olivier plays the clarinet.
Preseason All-SEC second-team pick. But has had some up and down moments, obviously, early in this season. A couple shots at the end of games that had a chance to go in, the Notre Dame game and the Louisville game.
Stolen away by Askew, and then he got a bump on the sideline from Trey Thomas, the freshman from Canada. It's the first on Thomas. I mentioned all the guys that Vandy has played over the course of the season and missing a few here tonight. But the way this game has started, is second half depth an issue for the Commodores?
Well, it can be, but only by foul trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, not by pace. This game isn't fast up and down. I think Vandy would like to get it to be more of a track meet.
Pump fake, and it's swatted away by Ware. Back out to Thomas. Loose ball time in Disu, and he finds it and kicks off a scramble. Man, that's a big body to go flying through the air at 6'9", 220. Somebody needs to check the screws on the hardwood.
And what an effort. Watch where he comes from. 2 white jerseys. He dives between them. Excellent effort by Disu.
That was like P. Rose going into third.
I mean, he was like 10 feet behind those guys. Dove right through them. Great effort. Maintains possession.
Teams are dead even, 47% from the floor, 9 of 19 each. Vandy's hit 3 more threes in Kentucky so far. They switch Boston onto Pippen.
And I was surprised Pippen didn't go back to Disu. He's the one that his guy left him. Disu's spot-up shooter now makes it more difficult.
Fadeaway is blocked by Jackson. Sarr on the floor this time, and a foul in the scramble will go against Melora Brown.
So the possession is tough for Vanderbilt because Pippen Jr. doesn't go back to Disu when he's open. He goes to him when he's covered. And when you try to do a fadeaway against Isaiah Jackson at 6'10", long reach, too difficult.
So to put Olivier Sarr back at the free throw line.
Sarr at the line for 1 and the bonus.
Sarr coming off of a double-double, 14 and 12. He's already into double figures here with 10. We've got a women's basketball doubleheader coming your way Thursday. Number 13 Arkansas on Rocky Top to take on Tennessee. And then Kentucky coming off of a huge double overtime win. Got A&M. That's a top 10 matchup at 8:30 Eastern. All games available as always on the app. Wing 3 good from Disu. You mentioned 6'9". He doesn't look like your typical shooter, but he's got great range.
Yeah, he's got great range, good form, but a great find by Scottie Pippen Jr. They're switching different size on size with Pippen Jr. so he can't get a shot. He read the floor, skipped the pass across to the open Dessou for the open three.
Talked to John Calipari about that today. They spent a lot of time on that skip pass in the weak side away from the pick and roll.
The hard thing about it, if you're guarding a player like Pippen Jr., you know he's looking to turn the corner or shoot it himself. And if you're the weak side help, you've got to kind of be in there waiting for the scorer to turn the corner. And Dessou is big enough and long enough that if you give him space, he's a catch and release guy.
Another trip to the free throw line from Sarr. He's already 5 of 6 from the charity stripe. Had a great finish to the season last year for Wake. Combined for 55 points and 20 boards against both Duke and Notre Dame. And he's had a chance to win a couple games for Kentucky in the midst of this 2-6 start. Just off the mark on a couple of jump shots late. You look at Kentucky's record, Sonny, 2-6. They've had opportunities late in games, and you spend 3 of those games and the fan base feels totally different about the way the season has gotten going.
Yeah, and all those games the point scoring is low. They haven't been able to get over a good number.
Pippen all the way down the paint, and he gets it to go.
It's impressive to watch when a point guard can just play at his pace, turn the corner. It's not explosion. It's how to use your body, smart pace to hesitate, then to explode. He is a difficult matchup, Scottie Pippen Jr. is for every team. Only in his sophomore season, averages nearly 23 points a game, shoots it deep. We've seen him score tonight mostly by taking it inside and finishing around the rim.
Akeem Odushipe picked up his first. Olivier Sarr might foul out the entire Vandy front court. Terry Stackhouse knew he was down a couple guys coming into this game. It didn't help that DJ Harvey picked up too early and had to take a seat. Sarr bangs them both home. Vandy by 1 right now.
Sarr 9 of 10 from the free throw line.
Allen ready to check in for UK. Here's Pippen again. Probes, hangs, and threw it off Jackson's leg.
John Calipari has tried multiple defenders on Pippen Jr. That time down it was B.J. Boston initially. Now it is Allen who just chucked in the game.
Allen on Pippen. Got there late. Off the mark. Those are the kind of things that Dante Allen has got to be better at if he wants to see more minutes.
Yeah, he wasn't there close enough, but he can do this right here.
And they'll get Sarr for over the back. It's a second. Kentucky's big guy. Vandy will be shooting. Talking with Cal today, he said, I've got to build the confidence of this team. There are non-negotiables. You got to hold guys accountable, but at the same time, you have to try and build them up and build them up. And wasn't it funny that we heard almost the exact same thing from Jerry Stackhouse when we talked to him earlier in the day? Getting guys to play with confidence, yet be accountable for their mistakes and play with a sense of urgency.
I thought a great line Jerry Stackhouse used when he talked about his father who passed away a month ago. And he said, you know, my team doesn't want me to be George Stackhouse, because that's a little tougher. But he did say it's a combination of being tough, hold guys accountable, and then the guys that have been here a year and a half help the younger players and the transfers with what they want to build and how they want to play in a Commodore uniform.
Mintz will fire from deep. Ware able to bail him out with an offensive board. Another foul on Vandy's front court. That one will be on Studi, and that'll be his first. Yeah, the Stackhouse line that Jerry used about his dad, George, who raised 11 kids in Kinston, North Carolina, was a truck driver there. He said he'd have a long day of work, get back, be sitting in his favorite chair, and I'd be watching my favorite TV show, of course, before DVRs or TiVo or anything else. And he'd say, son, go to the kitchen, get me a drink. And he said, I pout on my way to the kitchen. And it was fine because I was able to pout and he still got his drink. And he let me get away with that a couple times. But eventually he'd just say, quit pouting and give me my drink. Which he said, I'm letting some of my guys pout a little bit, but it only goes so far. And then I'll have to get into him like George did. Another one coming for Ware, freshman out of New Jersey.
You know, if you think of this Vandy team and you think offensively, you mentioned DJ Harvey. He's had 2 personal fouls, and he's a guy that transferred from Notre Dame that, you know, we talked to Stack a month and a half ago early in the season.
Yep.
And he's relying on Harvey to be 14 to 15 point scorer every night.
Hasn't happened yet, but other guys picking it up, including Jordan Wright. Makes this his 5th 3 of the season.
Yeah, we had the Richmond game when Richmond drilled Vandy in the first half. Vandy made a comeback, didn't win. Jordan Wright played pretty well that game, had 17. Again, another capable shooter from outside.
Here's Jackson. Out to Allen. Off the back of the rim. Dante Allen has started this game 2 for 6, 0 for 3 from deep. Jackson's going to get whistled for the foul. Jordan Wright may have just slipped on his own. Second on Jackson. Vanderbilt holding their own here, looking for their first conference win. Under 4 timeout in the first half. It's the Doors by 3.
Dari Noka in studio. Pat Bradley going to be alongside for the half here shortly. We'll show you what's going on in Tuscaloosa. Florida taking on Alabama. Also look ahead to a big one in Starkville. Missouri taking on Mississippi State. He'll get his first half reaction to what we are seeing at Rupp. And maybe, just maybe, they'll announce the Heisman Trophy winner by then, guys.
All right, Dari, thanks. Yeah, that's tonight, all virtual. Maria Taylor doing a great job hosting back in Bristol with Mac Jones. Set an SEC championship record for passing yards. And got Alabama playing for a national title. Tom Hart, John Sunvold here. Scottie Pippen Jr. second in the conference in scoring behind LSU's great freshman Cam Thomas. He's a very confident player on the floor.
Yeah, knows how to play it. Very smart. Tonight he's been guarded for the jump shot, so he has taken it off the bounce inside over big guys, and he's controlled it by pace. Also a couple assists. Defensively, he's been matched up against the shooter Allen, but anytime a smaller player can control pace in a half-court set and finish at the rim, you know he's got something inside the mind that is different than everybody else.
Got a quarter of Vandy's 32 tonight. Doors leading by 3. And Jordan Wright will be at the free throw line. The building is emptier than it's ever been, but DJ War and Peace has the bass pumped louder than it's ever been. Inside, blocked by Ware. Time for the missed free throw.
Tom, you and I, we walked in here. This is odd. Never been in here such an empty building.
Yeah.
A lot of good cutouts, though, placed appropriately.
As you may imagine, the home court advantage in college basketball has all but disappeared. In fact, in the Big 12, as an example, there are more road wins than home wins. Boston off balance, had a block by Dessou. And that came at the end of the shot clock. B.J. Boston scoreless on 0 for 3 shooting tonight.
So Kentucky had a hard time getting into the set. I'm not sure which player wasn't in the right spot, but someone wasn't in the right spot. Now the shot clock winds down. You got to put it on the floor and press, and you don't get a good shot. You get a good defensive stand by the Commodores and a block shot.
Corner 3, good. Jordan Wright with his second triple. I mentioned the Big 12 numbers. In the SEC, through 11 games, the home team has only won 4 of them. That is 24th among the 32 college basketball conferences. Air ball and a chance for Vandy to add to the 6-point lead.
When you speak of the Big 12, there was a 25-point margin. Texas at Allen Fieldhouse, which never happens.
Never.
And it wouldn't happen if that place was full. Not that Kansas would have won, but there would have been a run at some point with the home crowd.
A bump from Ware, no whistle. Pippen with the score, and a look at the official. He wanted a 3-point chance.
That's so good. He's controlling the biggest guy on the floor defensively.
8-0 Vanderbilt run.
Coaches wanted a turnover there on Mintz. Referees didn't go for it.
Boston skips his way down the lane.
Now maybe that gets his confidence going. I think Kentucky fans say that every time he gets a bucket. When will he get on a little bit of a run?
He had 11 last time out, but on just 4 of 13 shooting.
2-3 zone. Vanderbilt will match up. They try to get a guy in the middle. Remember, this is a team that shoots it deep. All 5 guys on the floor, because Dessou is playing center, can shoot the long one.
Half of their attempts today have been from behind the arc. Make it more than half now, 15 of 29. Boston probes, floats down the lane. Can't get it to fall. Here's Pippen leading the break. He's got it on a string. Feed for the corner 3. Good! And Vandy able to open up a 9-point lead on the Jordan Wright triple.
Same spot he was last time he hit the 3. Good find by Pippen Jr.
Boston gives it up. Here's Allen. And Kentucky out of sorts on the offensive end.
Well, each guy is trying to just take it off the dribble, see how far they can get. There's nobody, no picks are set for guys to come off.
Boston short on the long jumper. Timeout taken by Vanderbilt. Pardon me, by Kentucky, I believe. It's a 9-point Vanderbilt lead.
Well, take a look at Pippen Jr. Now he's going to fake like he's going to pull up and shoot it. Hesitation. Goes down now. Draws different players to guard him. And in the same spot he hit one just recently. Jordan Wright, another 3.
It's a Vanderbilt team that really leans on the 3 for their offensive production. Over the course of the season, 38% of their points come from deep. And what did Cal tell us? Hey, they might shoot 30. If they make 15 of them, we're going to have a hard time. If they make 17, 18 out of 32, we're going to have a hard time tonight.
Yeah, 8 for 16, as you mentioned. They're shooting it. They're spacing it. The one thing, though, Tom, they've got Kentucky on the heels. When you don't score on the offensive end, and Kentucky's struggling again, they have moments where they just don't score, then it puts all the pressure on you defensively. It was okay in the Mississippi State game because the defense blocked a lot of shots. Vandy doesn't let you block a lot of shots because they space you out and they face up and shoot 3s.
Cal told his guys, we're not blocking 3-point shots. You get up, get your hand up. Don't foul a 3-point shooter. 15 seconds left in the shot clock. About a 12-second difference between the shot and game. Stolen away. Here's B.J. Boston. And he scoops it right past Pippen.
Shot the gap. Good steal. Good finish.
Both play their high school ball. Sierra Canyon out west. 6 seconds left in the half. Here's Pippen. Dessou open for 3. Off the back iron. Vanderbilt in the first half goes 8 of 16 from deep, while Kentucky shoots just 1 of 7. And at the break, it's Vanderbilt 40, Kentucky 33. Dari and Pat ready to catch you up with what's happening in the league, including the Heisman ceremony. Let's take you back to the studio. Vandy with a 7-point lead at the half as we get ready to start the second here in Rupp Arena. Tom Hart, John Sunvold. Cheerleaders are on the same level we are, so that means we must be close to the action. Scottie Pippen Jr. is in the middle of the action every time Vandy comes down the floor in the game. He's been the difference.
Yeah, he plays, we always say he plays at his pace, and what does that mean? His mind thinks differently than other players. He doesn't get rushed. He doesn't get bothered. He doesn't get worried. When you're one of the smaller guys on the floor, even though he's 6'3", he controls what he wants to control, and the defense doesn't control him. He's got great body control, great bursts of speed. We know he can shoot it from outside. He hasn't had to tonight. He's 0 for 2, but he's 5 of 7 inside, and he's making shots. He's got 6 assists. This team is really fun to watch, and he is a terrific player, one of the best in the SEC.
6 assists tonight for Pippen. His career high is 8, set that last November against South Carolina State. The Heisman's going to reside in the SEC for the next year. Devontae Smith from Alabama, first wide receiver to win it since Desmond in '91.
Now good for him. I thought he was the best player, and you probably got to see him enough time that you might agree.
Askew with a bucket to start the second half for Kentucky.
Quiet first half for Askew. That's his 4th point, 2 of 5 from the field.
TJ Harvey played with 2 fouls in the first half. He starts the second half. Interesting at half. He came out really early. He came out twice. And there's a mistake by Askew as he commits his 3rd. DJ Harvey came out of the locker room, grabbed a basketball off the rack, went back in the locker room. And then moments later, then was back on the floor getting loose before anybody else. This was about, what, 8 minutes left in the half, which was way earlier than normal.
He only played 3 minutes in the first half because of foul trouble. In the Florida game, he was 1 of 10 from the field. And he is a player, we mentioned it earlier, when we did the first game that Vanderbilt played this season, Jerry Stackhouse told us he's a guy that could get us 15 a night. He's solid, knows how to score, can shoot it. Now they've got to find him and get him his confidence going.
Pippen over Boston, rebounded by Sarr. Sarr, couple fouls in the first half, had limited minutes. Sarr at the free throw line was the most effective weapon for Kentucky. Ware couldn't find the air ball.
And I think I would keep pounding it into Sarr. He lost control of that one going up. He's got a little size advantage, and Dessou wants to take you outside. Bad miss there from the corner.
From the corner and off the corner. Dante Allen tracks down the loose ball.
Well, one thing we know, they're not going to stop shooting. They hit 8 threes in that first half, and they had a slow start, but when they get on a roll, they keep going.
There's Allen's first make from deep, coming off of a 7 for 11 night at Mississippi State.
He does not hesitate. Did not make any in the first half, but he caught that one, and it went up immediately.
They've got Boston on Pippen. Allen chasing Harvey. Mid-range for the big fella.
Pretty good start for this Wildcat team out of the locker room. Vandy having a hard time scoring, allows Kentucky to run a little bit, and allows Sarr to get in position down low.
Dessou through the lane, drives a foul on Ware. The first sack, Kentucky's Ware.
Remember, you've got to go out and guard Dessou because he can shoot the 3. And when bigs raise their legs a bit, you can put it on the floor and go right by him.
Mention the guys that were out for Vandy. Still no Terrence Clarke or Keon Brooks for Kentucky. Had a chance to watch him at practice this week. Terrence Clarke barely did much. He wasn't on his feet very often. He was in a boot when you saw him a couple nights ago.
Yep.
Tony Green trying to clarify something on the floor. Keon Brooks was going through drills off the side while the team was doing their work during practice. They're going to go to the monitor and take another look at what just happened. Tony Green, the veteran. Ware's blockout is what we believe is drawing the attention. Tony Green got him with the tee immediately. And they're going back, I would assume, although we have no way to communicate with the officials up here, that they're checking to see if that would rise to the level of flagrant.
Yeah, Tom, this is probably the toughest part for us, is that we're not close enough to. Usually officials come over and tell us what they're looking at.
Tony Green and Will Howard discussing it now. I think what the question that they're trying to answer was, how intentional was this? And does this rise to the level of what would be considered, say, a punch, even though it's not a punch?
Yeah, I don't think you go that far. It's not a normal basketball play, though.
Right, which would make it easily a flagrant 1. Which has kind of turned into the college football equivalent of a targeting foul. You know, if you make contact with your elbow or your arm above the neck, they're going to look at it.
Yeah.
And in terms of player safety, they're likely to throw a flagrant 1 on you.
Yeah, it's almost automatic.
So they also had to, by the way, decipher what they were going to do from a free throw perspective. So to be a flagrant 1 on Lance Ware, and Tony Green explaining that to Cal, which would be his second personal with no time coming off the clock. Dessou will have another free throw, and they'll also shoot one for the dead ball technical. So Stute, who's 4 of 5 from the free throw line in limited time this season, will go to the line for the flagrant.
This is good for Vanderbilt, and I say that because Kentucky started the second half well out of the locker room.
Yep.
Had all the momentum. And let's go back to no crowds at these home venues. Could you imagine if this was packed and Kentucky starts this second half and is on a roll? And all of a sudden, you've got a flagrant 1, possession stays. You got free throws, possession stays with Vandy. Huge momentum change could be right here.
And it was my mistake. Dessou's free throws had been completed, so now possession to Vandy after the Class A technical foul. Class A, Class B. It's kind of like you want to get your driver's license as a delivery driver. I've never understood all of the differences. Blocked by Sarr on a chance for Kentucky to answer.
There was an attempt. Obviously, the words in the locker room are, we're going to push it a little faster.
Yeah.
The pace has gone up for the Wildcats.
Mintz. Ware with a shove off, and he'll pick up his 3rd quickly.
He is the physical banger inside for this Kentucky team. That time he was leaning on the back, and it might have been Harvey, I'm not sure who it was, or Stute. I think it was an easy call from the official from where we are, but
yeah,
you know, he's going to argue that his arm was locked by Stute underneath. But you don't really get to argue.
No, you don't. Stepped on the sideline, and a turnover by DJ Harvey. Stackhouse, after the loss to Florida, said it's the guy who needs to pick up his whole disposition. It's on him. And so this week in practice, he said we allowed him to recalibrate and to hit the reset button. Let's go.
Only a player can get back his own confidence. You know, we talked about Cal, and you've talked about Jerry Stackhouse. Stackhouse, who played at the highest level as an NBA All-Star, knows that better than anybody. You can tell a kid, hey, you're off okay. And really, a player's got to get it themselves, whether it's extra time in the gym, maybe it's a few minutes here, a few minutes there. All of a sudden, they've got to snap out of it. No one else will help you. Or they can help you, but they won't get it out there.
Jackson with the left, and another whistle against Vandy. That one's going to go against Stute, his 2nd.
So if I'm analyzing Kentucky in the offensive end, and you've got a guy like Allen in, they've run some plays, and Jackson set a semi-screen for Allen. Well, a semi-screen doesn't get Allen open. If you set a screen and Allen comes off it and you get his defender off him, you've now opened up your offense. You've got to be more efficient. If you're not a great team, but even if you're a great team, get your shooters open, because then the defenses have to change.
Well, the shooters haven't done their job. Just 2 of 9 from deep in this one. SEC Now covering national championship game media day Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern. Isaiah Jackson knocks down both free throws. Kentucky is used to coming from behind against Vandy. For their last 5 games, Kentucky has trailed in the second half and come back and win against the Commodores. John Calipari brought that up with his team yesterday. He said, guys, it's happened under 3 different head coaches. This team will have a great first half against us because it's their biggest game of the year. Askew for 3. We're tied at
45. Askew playing off the ball. Mintz brought it, spotted up. All net from Askew, the freshman.
Great D by Sarr. Here's Pippen. Fade away. Dissou has the board, but the loose ball ends up on the ground. He gets tied up. That looked like a wrestling move. Sarr is going to get wrestled for the whistle for the foul by Tony Green. He was reaching over the back while he was on the floor. That's Sarr's 3rd. That's key. When we return, we'll take a look back at Stack. He's no stranger to these Wildcats. Civic Center in Alabama, March 25th, 1995, Southeast Regional Final. Jerry Stackhouse getting it done. This was a team with Stack, Jeff McInnes, Donald Williams, Dante Calabria, and oh yeah, Rasheed Wallace. Tony Delk and his Cats had a hard time shooting in that one. Tony, our buddy, which is 5 of 14. Stack had a team high 18 along with Donald Williams. Tony had 19, but it was all North Carolina.
Tom, did you notice in the background Dean Smith?
Yeah.
He was just leaning back in his chair.
That's how coaches used to coach, right? They didn't pace.
Hey, you have Rasheed, you have Stack. He just leaned back. All right. Came in at halftime, said, guys, we're going the other direction second half. Ready? Let's go back.
Shoot at the other goal. Not sure what I think about those old Kentucky uniforms. Carolinas haven't changed much. A hold inside that didn't get whistled. Dante Allen had tied up Jordan Wright. It'll stay with Vanderbilt. Allen just put a wrist lock on Jordan Wright.
It almost looked when he first caught it from our angle that he would finish the play and it'd be an and 1.
Yeah.
No whistle, miss a layup.
12 on the shot clock for Vanderbilt.
That seems to be a hard one to miss.
One would think. I'm still waiting for my perfect game, though.
Yep.
Dissou inside, up and under. It's floated right back, right by Allen, I should say.
2 things. He can either pick and pop or pick and go to the hole. That time he takes it to the rim.
Askew picks up his dribble, gets it back from Toppin. Jackson went down. A couple guys did, including Dessou's holding his head.
I thought he would shoot it, Tom. Hold your eye, then come down, spot up.
The old okey doke, huh?
Yeah.
Nice feed leads to a foul on Toppin, the first.
You know, it's interesting. The second half, Kentucky defensively again, they've got to guard shooters. We've seen more backdoor cuts in this half by Vandy than we did the first half, because Kentucky's outside playing that three ball, and so Vandy looks like they're faking out, trying to backdoor cut, trying to get some shots around the rim.
Yeah, my mistake. That foul is on Dante Allen. John Calipari will go down and have a word with him. Toppin will also leave the game for Kentucky. Pippen. He was open for the 3. Then we got a push off on the rebound. Man, if you like whistles, this is your kind of game. Miles Studi, the freshman from D.C., commits his 3rd. I'm a little surprised Studi's staying in with 3. Cal giving some directions. He wants to see a screen, see who they go to.
And you know, when whistles happen at every end of the floor, it just slows down the pace of play. That means you've got to be more efficient in your half-court sets. Something that Kentucky really hasn't been good at, except the 2 overtime games down in Starkville.
Askew gets down the lane, takes it off the window. He's got an advantage there, guarded by the 5'11" Thomas.
And I think that's Askew's strength. I think he's a nice outside shooter, not a great outside shooter, but strong enough when he goes and puts it on the floor. He's nearly 200 pounds at 6'3", that he can finish.
Right, trying to shake Boston. That was too easy.
Well, he's had a terrific game so far, right? Shoots it well outside and finishing at the rim.
Mintz draws the foul, coming back the other way with a burst, and he'll go to the free throw line.
You know, Jordan Wright's hit 3 3-pointers, 3 for 3, and that time he simply put it on the floor, went by everybody. He's a physical kid, strong, good with the basketball, loves contact, doesn't mind it at all. Last couple ball games, he had 11 against Alcorn, only 5 against Florida. Played 13 minutes in that one, but if he's going, and he's going good tonight, he sees more minutes.
Another free throw coming for Mintz as Toppin returns. What got Vandy in their loss to Florida was their offense simply disappearing. They went almost 8 minutes without a field goal, went 0 for 11. That was a first half drought that they never recovered from. Florida won by 19. Toppin on the offensive glass. First bucket of the night with a transfer from Rhode Island. Kentucky with the lead here in the second half after it had been tied a couple of times. Jackson poked it away. Thomas cut off.
And keep an eye on how spread the floor is for this Vandy squad.
Jackson on the glass. Jackson trying to take it hard, and he's able to draw the foul from Melora Brown, excuse me, his 3rd.
And Tom, because we sit in the upper deck, we've got a different angle and a different view. And what I know is about Kentucky on their break, they rarely advance the ball by passing it. Whether it's Mintz or whether it's Askew, it's kind of always by the dribble. That's a little slower. They don't have a wing ahead, or either the wing's not looking or the point guard's not looking to advance it. They put no pressure on a break-wise against this Vandy team.
Cats came in averaging less than 67 points a game. Here's Pippen. Oh, that one's blocked, but the Cats say came off the glass first. Scottie Pippen Jr. does a sensational job of going to the alternate angle on his layups.
Yeah, and he does it at a pace, and sometimes fast. So he's going quickly. Now he's got to get to the other side of the rim. We've seen him finish with the left hand. That time he was shielding the defender with his body, so he had to turn it and twist it and get it to the board.
Second year in the league for Pippen.
Askew got away with a push-off. Remember, Trey Thomas is an exceptional defender, very quick on his feet with active hands.
Disu blocks Sarr. Vanderbilt as a team is really good at shot fakes, and they'll do it 2-3 times on you.
And they have a sense, even though they're a young team, of where each other is on the offensive end. They space it, they throw it across court. Disu with a terrific move. Crowd wanted to travel, they didn't get it.
It's a 3-point game here at Rupp Arena. Vandy with the lead over the Cats. Foul that time goes against Trey Thomas. You know what we're going to do, because we know you want to see it. We're going to talk football when we return. Everybody needs to know our college football national championship picks. State pennant in Rupp Arena. You got your pennants? You're supposed to make a pick.
Well, I have one right here. Now, tomorrow night, though, I'm working on the Big Ten Network, so no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm going with Alabama, folks.
Do you think anybody in Rupp wants an Alabama? Sir, do you have any interest in an Alabama pennant? Nothing. Yeah, I got Alabama. I think it's a no-brainer. I'm looking forward to you going to the Big Ten Network tomorrow night.
Yeah, you just tune in.
There was reports from AL.com this afternoon. I think they were the first ones with it, that Ohio State may have an outbreak among a positional group. There is a backup plan for the national championship game, which would be the following week, still in Miami. And also news this week, more germane to the sport we're covering, the fact that the entire men's NCAA basketball tournament will be held in Indiana, around the Indianapolis area, with games both at Purdue and Indiana. Sarr with the tip-in on the lob and a foul, and Malora Brown commits his fourth.
Smart play, good find by Askew as he comes off the screen. They worked on this in practice. Come off hard, try to drag the defender, and let Sarr go to the middle, because they thought defensively they like to ice. Vandy likes to ice, keep it on one side of the floor defensively. And if they do that, then the big roll straight down the middle to the rim. Askew with a good pass.
Spacing the key there. Sarr with a three-point play. We're tied at 53 again. By the way, I was thinking about the NCAA tournament being played in Indiana. You know, Kentucky's already won a national championship on an Indiana court. When Goose Gibbons led Kentucky to a national title, they had to truck in a new court because flooding warped the old one, and the quickest one they could get, I believe that was the one in St. Louis. The quickest floor they could get to the old Checker Dome was Indiana's floor, and they trucked it in from Bloomington.
And Goose had 41 against Duke when they.
Am I right? Was that in St. Louis?
Yeah.
Allen has it ripped away by Jordan Wright.
Now, what a game Jordan Wright has played.
Cal wanted a foul. He'll get B.J. Boston in the next dead ball.
Two terrific possessions by Vandy once this game got tied.
Askew too high off the glass. Rebounded by Maxwell Evans. Disu walked with it.
You know, Tom, when you think of this Vandy team and Scottie Pippen Jr., if others play with him, and tonight it is Jordan Wright, if he gets a couple guys having big games on different nights,
yeah,
this team's dangerous. Again, because of the leadership of Pippen Jr. and a mix of guys that know how to score. Tonight we have Disu, and we've got Jordan Wright playing well. Defensively, they've been solid. They're quick, especially out front with a guy like Trey Thomas on the ball.
And Studi's hit 3 threes. They've got 4 in double figures. Only 1 in double figures for Kentucky. That's Sarr sitting at 20. 9 on the shot clock for the Cats. John Calipari's walking all the way down under the basket as if he were coaching at Memorial Gym. He got all the way down to the inn in Kentucky on the baseline.
COVID has allowed more freedom for everybody to wander around baseline, sideline, keep spacing. Good picture of Bruiser Flint behind him, who did a great job in the overtime in the second half, double overtime against Mississippi State.
Talking to Cal about that today, he said what my staff did well is they played the guys who were playing as a unit. And I've talked to my guys and told them we can't play as individuals. It's got to be a team effort. Somebody got a hand on that one. Here's Boston. Steps through and off the glass. 6 points for Brandon Boston Jr. The latest draft projection I saw today still had him as a lottery pick going 10th overall.
He'll have to up his game a little bit. He still struggles with confidence. Good step that time to make the finish at the rim.
Well, yeah, and what I think that illustrates is that the NBA executives are seeing the same potential that Kentucky saw in Boston when they signed him as part of the #1 recruiting class in the country. Allen will return.
And there is a bit of the NBA has become a developmental league, so to speak.
Vandy with a 2-point lead. Into the corner for Harvey.
Boy, every member of Vandy's bench got off their chair when Harvey shot it. They want their teammate to get his game going.
Second on to Sue. John Calipari doesn't seem to be happy with the whistles in the post for Vandy. It puts Sarr back at the line. A 20-point performance so far. And he hits the front end of the 1-and-1. This is what I love, all right, about the only silver lining to this is we can hear everything that's happening on the floor. If there are 25,000 people here, we wouldn't. He just told Sarr, if he's pushing on you, just fall down, meaning they're going to have to blow the whistle.
Sarr 12 of 13 from the free throw line. He is a 64% shooter. Now you're seeing what he's capable of being. He's capable of being an 80% free throw shooter.
You think he'll fall down?
No.
Askew beat him to the punch.
Here we go.
Cats looking for another second-half lead. They've had one.
It is a wrestling match down low when Sarr steps in.
Corner three. A wrestling match, huh? Cal will be Vince McMahon then. And we're going to hold on Pippen. That'll be his third.
I was watching Cal when they were getting back on defense. He was running faster than B.J. Boston was.
Not a good sign if you're B.J.
No. And he was yelling at B.J. to run.
All right, so here's Dante Allen at the free throw line. Coming out of Pendleton County High School, where he was a 3,000-point scorer. He's not the only 3,000-point scorer from Pendleton High School. I dug up an old issue of the Falmouth Outlook. He is one of only, that is the only school apparently, and there are others that would argue this, that has two 3,000-point scorers in Kentucky basketball history. Talbert Turner, who was just 5'10", was a 3,100-point scorer before he went to Morehead State. And the guy who called his regional final is calling the game right now for Kentucky, Tom Leach. He dropped 59, Turner did, against Nicholas County. Allen's got another one coming.
3,000 points.
That is a lot.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Leach called the 10th region title game on WMST Bourbon County over Pendleton County.
What grade did they get to start playing high school?
Both of those guys played as 8th graders. Dante Allen played varsity in 8th grade.
Okay.
His high school coach said it was quite a scene. The middle school bus would pull up and drop him off. He'd have a basketball in his hand and come right into practice. His coach, Keaton Belcher, played for Rick Bird of Belmont.
Yep.
Played the NCAA tournament a couple of times. There's a foul on Boston on the Jordan Wright drive. And so Boston picks it up. We've got a 2-point game. Under 8 to go from Rupp Arena. Shot says it all.
Wealth of information, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I am.
That's what I thought of you as. We walked over here, I thought, man, this guy's an encyclopedia.
Maybe Encyclopedia Brown. 59-57. Kentucky leads Vandy. Time now for our All-State Protection Spotlight. Want to protect those encyclopedias? Would be my recommendation. Good defense by Vandy tonight.
Yeah, they've been active. They've been good. And Jordan Wright has had a terrific night. 13 points, 5 of 8 from the field, but he's been active. A couple steals to go along with that, and this was an easy finish in this second half.
Officials telling Kentucky get back on the floor, taking their time. Second half, Kentucky's outscored Vandy 26-17. Doors haven't scored in 3 minutes. Jordan Wright will try to fix that. Baton Rouge native out of the Dunham School. School record for points, rebounds, second in assists and steals. Graduated summa cum laude. He's got another free throw coming.
Now in his sophomore season, last year he was pretty solid. Nearly 6 points, 3 rebounds a game.
Knocks both down. We're tied at 59. We have had 5 lead changes and 12 ties in this game.
You've got Allen in, the sharpshooter from outside, and expect the ball to be in Sarr's hands at some point. They've had a hard time containing him, especially keeping him off the foul line. Tom, what you'll notice where we're sitting, the cuts are very slow on the offensive end by Kentucky. Easy to guard.
Ball fake for Allen in the 3. Got it. Second triple of the night.
Quick draw shooters can simply lift the ball and usually get defenders to fly by.
Toppin chasing Pippen. Here's Wright on Boston. Nice spin move.
Wow.
Beautiful move and one.
Physical, strong, balanced. Kid has had a terrific night. And on this end, watch a quick shooter. Simply lifts the ball, get a defender flying by. Easy bucket for Allen. And Jordan Wright with the answer. Doesn't think the freshman Boston can guard him. He's right. Physical, tough. Everything's in balance when he gets to the rim.
$18 points. He had a career high 23 last year against Tennessee. We're tied at 62.
Set play last time down for Allen to come off a screen and find an opening.
He's guarded by Wright on the corner on the right side. Jackson looking for Sarr, and we got a hold on Disu. It's his 3rd. Not going to win that argument with the veteran Mike Nance. And Sarr going back to the free throw line where he is 12 of 13 on the night. Have you ever been to Bordeaux, France?
I have not. How about you?
I haven't. I can only imagine what Andy Kennedy would have to say about it if he were sitting here tonight.
You're thinking he's been, or he would make up the story that he's been?
Yeah. I don't think he'd ever been thirsty in his life. 24 now for Sarr. Recovering Big Blue Madness, he invited everybody to come visit his fantastic hometown. I'd like to take him up on it. A drive. Pippen with the finish.
Set plays each time down for Vandy. Run a lot of the same stuff North Carolina ran back when Stack played for them. And some NBA sets.
Allen off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Trey Thomas. You look to the NBA, guys like Curry, Trae Young, undersized guards that are so good with the ball in the hand and can still get their shots off.
Well, and again, they play at their pace, right? They don't seem bothered when they rarely pick up their dribble. So if they're in the lane, they're just seeing what's available because they can control it. Pippen Jr. the same way.
Here's Allen flaring. They had him and didn't give him the ball.
Boy, Askew missed him.
Sarr, turn around.
You can't miss your shooters when they're coming off a screen and they're open. That's why they run the plays.
Right, full head of steam.
He just bulldozed in there.
Yep. Here's Askew trying to lead the break. Got Toppin. The lob. And he lays it off the glass.
Good pass that time by Askew. I thought Askew played one of his best halves when he was at Mississippi State last week in the win. Or the other night. He had 7 assists in that ballgame.
Near steal, Toppin did get it. Feeds Askew, and a reach in from Pippen 17 feet from the basket. That is foul number 4 on Scottie Pippen Jr. The depth will be an issue, especially from a foul perspective for Vandy. It looks like down the stretch.
Well, a bad foul, not a smart foul by Pippen Jr. He'd already lost the ball, and I don't know if he was frustrated by that. There was no whistle because then he simply reached and picked up his 4th. Many guards can play with 4 fouls. Where they have to be careful is on the offensive end, charging when they put it on the floor and try to go to the basket.
Askew at the free throw line at a modern day in California. Gets the first, got another one coming. We got a women's basketball doubleheader coming your way Thursday. Arkansas and Tennessee at 6:30, followed by the 10th ranked Kentucky Wildcats and Ryan Howard going to Reed Arena to take on number 8 Texas A&M at 8:30. Always available streaming live on the app. Askew nails them both.
Toppin on Pippen Jr. Pippen Jr. 6'3". Jacob Toppin 6'9".
Studi drills another 3.
What a great set. Good find, all on a set play.
Vandy's made 9 of 23 from deep tonight. Toppin looking for Sarr. Nothing there. He'll take it himself. Half dozen for Jacob Toppin, the sophomore from Brooklyn. Pippen. Extra pass, Disu for 3. Vandy hits another from long range.
Very comfortable controlling the pace is what Pippen Jr. did again. Got it inside. Now you've got a collapse. 1 extra pass. Found the shooter, Disu. Another 3. Tie ball game. 3:33 on the clock.
Sarr, deep 2. He's been so good in the paint, and he decided to shoot a long one.
Advantage Vandy because they have the best player on the floor. Can he make a play? Made another one. Great block.
Sarr erases it.
Wow.
Sonny, you said it early in the game. Could you imagine if this place were full?
Oh, my
energy
goodness.
in the building right now, tied at 70. Here's Allen.
And players can't give yourself the energy that a home crowd can give you. Great block by Sarr. Now can the Wildcats capitalize?
They're leaning on Sarr inside. He left. Toppin draws the foul. That'll be Studi's 4th. Olivier Sarr from Bordeaux. A nice Bordeaux at Tony's after the game with a rejection and off the window. We're tied at 70.
On a trip to Bordeaux, if you don't mind.
Yeah, we got room on the plane, and I just wanted to throw one more impressive nugget at you because you're a big fan of the Falmouth newspaper. How about this one? Dante Allen is one of 4 3,000-point Kentucky high school scorers to play at Kentucky. The others, Chris Harrison, Tim Stevens, and Tim Couch. 3,000-point scorer in basketball, and oh yeah, he was a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, he tossed the ball around pretty good on the little pigskin.
Yeah, a little air raid action. 7 on the shot clock. Not sure Askew's aware. Down the lane, floater, and who's the whistle on? Foul trouble piling up for Vandy. It looks like Esson Disu will be his 4th. It's Studi. It's his 4th. So this is an issue for Vandy. Pippen 4, Malora Brown 4. Studi just picked up his 4th, and Disu with 4.
And Tommy, and the mistake there is, in fact, you had Askew going to the bucket, and Studi did not block out, and you allowed Sarr to get inside to get to the rim. So now you're trailing him and you're pushing. you get the whistle. You get in front of him, you're blocking out, probably going the other way because Askew missed the layup attempt.
We got some blood, I believe, on Olivier Sarr, and so Mike Nance just told him, you got to go over there and get that cleaned up before you can shoot the free throw. If that's not a sign that Vanderbilt's been physical with him, I'm not sure whatever else is. Yeah, that's when Studi got him.
Again, a free run to the rim for the putback, or the attempted putback for Sarr. Vandy did everything right. He didn't block out. Now Sarr, who missed the first one, misses them both.
He's already having a historic night at the free throw line, tying Tyler Ulis, and Emmanuel quickly for most free throws made in a game in the Calipari era, with 14 of them. Sarr with a deflection, and then a loose ball foul on Jordan Wright. That's his third.
They ran the play to perfection, except the pass.
That was on Dessou.
Scottie Pippen Jr. makes a cut. Now they've got him. The bad part was Dessou's got to throw it over the top or take a step around and make a better pass. Active hands by Sarr, knocked it away.
Our mistake earlier. That is now the fourth on Dylan Dessou. And Davion Mintz makes the first. 15 ties. 5 lead changes. Why not have Olivier Sarr on the lane for this free throw attempt?
You don't want him. A lot of times at this, you're confident that your guy shooting is going to make him, and there's no sense putting him on there to potentially get a foul.
Toppin will pick up Pippen 90 feet away.
It's been a good matchup. Toppin's done a good job. He's 6 inches taller than Pippen Jr.
He's forced Pippen to give it up. That time Pippen gets by everybody. Gets a foul on Sarr, and will go to the line.
Did we mention maybe the best player on the floor who controls everything? Off the bounce, off the dribble. He doesn't mind 2 big guys because he can make them move their feet. Uses his body to get in the tallest guy, Sarr. Draws contact. Capable enough to finish it because he's strong enough.
He had 13 last year in the second matchup between these two. And Pippen to the free throw line now. And trying to give Vandy the lead.
And it never looks like he breaks a sweat. Look for Allen to come off some screens because he stretches the defense.
Allen ball fake. The twos haven't been there for Dante Allen tonight.
Toppin's got to be careful because Pippen Jr. will draw contact.
An air ball from the wing, and then a foul inside. If that's Dessou, he's done. It is. And one of the main threats for Vanderbilt is fouled out with 1:17 left in regulation.
Wow, what a terrible miss. An air ball. Studi must not have had control of it when he let it go because he missed it about 2 feet left of the rim, and that puts pressure, and Dessou gets caught reaching.
Jerry Stackhouse is going to take as much time as he can, stealing a timeout here with the minute that he's allowed to find the replacement for the player that's qualified. 72-72, 1:17 remaining.
It'll be interesting to see who he puts in, if he's got confidence in Harvey or not to come back. He does not. He's got a pretty small lineup coming in.
Studi at 6'7" will be the tallest.
This lineup of Vandy will make this Wildcat team. He will stretch him out a bit. 5 guys in the Vandy uniforms that can all put it on the floor. They can all shoot it. They'll be very active, and they're going to make Sarr chase a little bit, try to get him out of the paint.
Dante Allen at the free throw line. Last 2 games, he's been preparing differently. He's been getting ready for games now that he knows he has an opportunity to play. And Dante Allen gives Kentucky a 1-point lead with 1:17 to go. We said it at the beginning, John, it's different that he's from here. He's one of theirs, as you put it.
Yeah, and it's different for him than the other guys. He's one of them. I mean, he's a home product. And there's something different when you play for your home state.
Fan of John Wall and others growing up, including Darius Miller, played his ball at Mason County in the 10th region. Kentucky by a deuce.
Vandy only 2 of 8 beyond the 3-point line this second half. But expect they're all spread out again. They've got a smaller, quicker lineup against a bigger Kentucky one.
Pippen on Sarr, and they got him, and that'll be it for Sarr. What a heady play by Scottie Pippen Jr., and he just took the #1 offensive threat off the floor by going at him.
It doesn't look all night long that Pippen Jr. has worried about any mismatch, any match that he's got. And so when he's got a big on him, he seems to control the pace better, draw the contact. It's impossible for a big to guard a guy like Pippen Jr. that's so comfortable with the ball. Now he'll get the chance to go and tie this ball game up.
Sarr is fouled out. Dessous is fouled out for Vandy in the span of 14 seconds. Isaiah Jackson will be the answer for Kentucky. And Scottie Pippen Jr. going to the free throw line.
You take Sarr out of the game, he's got 24 points. He's been the focal point on the offensive end for this Wildcat team. So where do they go when they have possession of the ball?
3 other Vandy starters still with 4 personal fouls, including Pippen. Pippen, Studi, and Melora Brown all deep into foul trouble with 1:03 left in regulation.
Has not shot the ball well from deep, 0 of 3, but he's got 17 points, 7 rebounds.
Tied at 74 apiece. Cal getting the timeout, and Toppin will escort him down towards the bench area. 30-second timeout. All right, 57 seconds to go. Does Kentucky go for a 2-for-1? Answer that question and figure things out on the other end of this break. Scottie Pippen's got a game-high 18 for Vandy, 8 of 12 from 2. He has run the show for the Commodores. Game-tying free throws a moment ago. But Sonny, now it's Kentucky's basketball with 24 seconds on the shot clock. Where do they go?
Well, they've been comfortable with Askew, the point guard, out front, but he's been going every time to his right. So if I'm Vandy, I force him left, get him out of his right hand because he's been right hand dominant. The other part is I've got to have Allen moving off screens. That makes Vandy adjust and talk and maybe switch. And when they switch guys, then the guy who's setting the screen step in, make a catch. Toppin has been pretty active in this second half. Hasn't scored a lot, but he's been active around the rim.
Jackson slips down the lane. Nothing there. Into the corner. Mintz for 3. Beautiful play. And he gives Kentucky a 3-point lead.
Solid back screen by Toppin to free Mintz up in the corner.
Pippen trying to answer. Ball fake. Left it short. Jackson the board. Pippen trying to reach in. He's got 4. Vandy needs to play good defense here. There's a 7-second difference at least. Shot clock to game clock.
Tom Toppin on both ends. He makes a screen on one end. He makes a block shot on the other.
Mintz checks the clock. 9 on the shot.
Pippen Jr. can't foul.
Handoff. Mintz down the lane. Left it short. 10 left. Vandy down by 3. Now 8. Into the corner. Ball fake. Game tying attempt. Off the mark. 3 on the clock. Another chance for Vandy. It won't go. And Kentucky survives. Wow, what a game.
What a last possession. Mintz with a miss. There was plenty of time for Vandy to get shots, and they got good looks. The first one was by Thomas in the corner. That ball hung on the rim.
Did. I miss the crowds. I miss the environment. I miss what would be happening here, but we got great basketball nevertheless.
Shot by Maxwell Evans. Watch the bounce. If we're in Nashville, it probably falls. You're on the road. You're at Rupp. Cats win.
77-74 is the final. Kentucky starts conference play 2-0 after an abysmal start to the season. Let's rewind and this draw that Calipari had on the offensive end.
Well, brilliant. Watch the back screen up top to free Mintz up. That's Jacob Toppin setting that screen, and Mintz, the grad transfer from Creighton, confident to knock it in.
And after the scramble and a couple of offensive rebounds, the last second miss.
Wow. Unbelievable. What a finish.
Well, Kentucky's got Florida, a Florida team that was losing big last time we checked. Can this Kentucky team get to where the expectations are?
Well, we know defensively they're pretty solid and they're pretty good. Tonight offensively, they were better. They're 77 points. One of the keys obviously was Sarr getting to the free throw line. He's 7 foot. He's mobile. He can score on the offensive end.
John Calipari, the Hall of Famer, the third fastest to 700 wins in college basketball history. He's got his team playing good basketball, even though it's close over the last 2 games. 77-74 is the final. First of 2. See if the other one's just as exciting. Let's get you to Starkville for Mississippi State and Mizzou.